Hey guys, welcome back. Another episode of Anton Builds. Very special show today. We're working on Frank a bit. So I decided to rip the whole front end apart for the reason I'm going to be replacing the subframe here because it's absolutely cooked. You can see here. So while I was thinking of doing that, I have shocks as well and everything, so I'm going to do a 3-inch lift on it. Okay, so the kit I ordered is from Jiminy Bits. It's called the Black Raptor 3-inch lift. These are my old springs. Comes with new springs, new shocks. They're all 3 inches longer, and new lower A-arms. These A-arms go back to the old style where it was a removable ball joint, as you can see right here, and they just go into the bottom of that. And it also came with a new track bar for the back, now with adjustable, thicker gauge. New brakes, extenders for the shock towers, and track bar relocation bracket. So as you can see, here's the new shock. There's the old one next to it. It's even if I pull it up a bit, it's extending. It's pretty much a max. You can see the difference in height. It's good, and you can see it's going back down again. That one's even worse. It's not what they should do. They're cooked. Hopefully this improves my ride quality. Yeah, if you head over to the website, they should have everything you need. So while I was taking it all apart, yeah, I noticed that my lower subframe is cooked. A couple of spots here. So I went out and built a new one. Dusted it all up, put some reinforcements, got it powder coated. And then as you can see, my CV axles have seen better days too. I also got the diff drop brackets that'll replace these guys on both sides to drop my diff down a bit to clear the kit. So to do this, I'm gonna have to. It's got a new steering rack as well, so it's gonna replace that one. So I got to go over here, disconnect my steering shaft, and then there's 2 bolts at the bottom there that I'm gonna have to unplug as well. That bolt was rotted right in there. Check that out. Holy fuck. I have to get that out of there somehow. But this was looking cooked. Absolutely fucked. Alright, so these are the drop brackets for the differential. Nice. I'm going to install them. Okay, so in here you can see there's 4 bolts. I'm missing one. You undo it and the diff's gonna drop out of the way. You see it? Then you got this one here, and it'll be the same thing on the other side. Those are the things. Here's the old one. Just get right here. Sorry if it's a little windy, guys. So here's the front differential. There's a bit more room because the subframe's not in here, so we can see everything clearly. But here's the bracket. There's the other one I just installed. If you take a look at the new one, you can see how much more of a drop it has in it. The bottom of this piece comes in just underneath that piece. It's a 1 inch. As you can see the difference. And I'll drop the diff. You can see it a little better now. Let's see the bolts are lined up and how much lower that one sits. Alright, so we got this pretty much cleaned up. We got the new ones in. I have to go get some bolts for that guy because it's already missing one, and I'd like to get it properly in there. We still got to figure out how to get these broken ones out of there, and the other one there with the vice grip on it. I cleaned the what's it called? The shock mount, I guess. Shock mount up nice. I took the old spacers out. These are the old spacers for this lift kit, which is here as well. This is the 2 inch you can usually get off Amazon. And this, all it does is it pushes your spacer down, so it's like a 2 inch spacer kit. And I deleted those. I'm getting new actual shock bushings. And then from this website, jimnybits.com, you can get these guys, which are 2 inch. I think they're 2.5 or 2.25 inches, well, 1.25 inches, whatever. And they pretty much replace what is out there with the big thing. So you're shaving like 5-10 pounds off your truck by just replacing with this. And I wanted to go with a new shock mount as well, so it'll clean everything up and make it look really nice. And like, look how much longer they are compared. That's a little compressed, but still huge. All right, finally, after being in the rust all day, I finally get to install something. So these are the new lower A-arms. These are the new outer tie rod or lower A-arm bushings. They're gonna go under there like that. And yeah, we'll set them up. The one thing I do find annoying about this kit is that it doesn't come with any hardware. Like, just put some hardware in there, guys. and yet you have to drill it out. So these bolts fit into this, but they did not fit into this. So I have to drill it out. I'm pretty sure it's just because of the powder coating, but whatever, it is what it is. Using grade 10 bolts for this, you want to go as hard as you can for suspension stuff, especially something that's holding your entire wheel on. Don't lose any of your stuff here. But yeah, this should mount underneath like this, and then you can just put your bolts through. I get my hardware from a place called Bickles. They're really good. Take care of me, hook me up with what I need. Hey guys, back for another day. Went out, got some more parts. New shock tower bushings. Got some new, I don't know if those were in before. Alright, back on Frank again today. Got my new shock tower mounts. They're going to mount right to the top there. Those are going to be taken care of. I'm having an issue though. So I got the new steering rack here and I got the old one here. These banjo bolts, they don't fit in the new steering rack for some reason. Look at that. So I'm gonna have to find new banjo bolts. At least the bottom one fits, but the top one is too big or too small. So that's gonna be fun. Hey guys, just puttering along. So I got this installed back onto the subframe. I noticed that the bolts, these guys, are a little short. So when you're putting it back in, it's hard to get the rubber to seat because you gotta push them through these little nipples as well. So I just went out and bought longer bolts, like that. So I just ran these in, and then it sucked it all together, and I can run shorter bolts in because I don't want that much sticking out the back, because that's just rust. They'll rust and then they'll be hard to take them out again. But yeah, just puttering away. Yeah, working away down here, just throwing these back in. Went out and got new bolts. I strongly suggest upgrading when you do stuff like this. A lot of these broke into the frame, so I had to weld nuts on them and get them out of there. The best thing to do is put a little grease in there and then just put them all up in there. Make sure you grease all your nuts. Okay, so I'm deciding to take my wheel hubs apart. I'm going to send these in to get sandblasted and powder coated. It's just going to look way nicer than me just trying to clean them up and paint them. And I have a little bit of time left before my other parts come in, so might as well. We're replacing all these nuts, so it doesn't really matter. So in here you'll find your bearing. for your CV axle. And then in here is the seal for the CV axle. I'm replacing all of these, so they're all going to come out. Pretty simple to get it out. You just put a wedge tool in there and give it a couple of whacks. Out it comes, that's it. There's a part number on here. I don't know if you can make it. Kind of smashed it right where the part number was. But got some new axles as well. The front one, this one was okay, but the boot was ripped. And the one on the other side, it completely disassembled itself. So I'm just going to go and repair them. They don't cost that much, around $100 a piece. You just toss them right in. Comes with all the hardware. Now to install this, I suggest putting just a little bit of grease on the tip of the axle shaft, like this. Get it all greased up, just so it slides in a little easier. These are usually kind of hard to take out, but I was surprised how easily this one came out. There's a little locking clip on here, as you can see it. And that'll keep it from sliding out. So all you do is you put it in there, you line it up. There's no certain way you got to put it in, just make sure that they line up properly. Should just pop right in. There you go, that's the one side. The other side's much easier. Now for this side it's even easier. All you do is you put this guy on here and bolt it up. I'm surprised they didn't do it on both sides like that, but some companies are weird. So you just put a 14 mil on there, front and back. Crank her down. Just give them a couple of lugga-duggas and it should be fine. That's how easy it is to install that one. Okay, so I'm going to be installing the shocks now. These are the extended ones. I always like to grease the end up. Make sure it all slides and doesn't rust together. A little grease never hurts, especially if you're using lock washers. Keeps the rust away too. So those just push up into there. Like so. And then from the top you have your rubber grommet, your little keyed washer, a lock washer, and then your lock nut. Alright guys, back with Frank. This is yet another day. It's been about 3 days looking for these fucking banjo bolts. Been everywhere. Finally found some. I had to get completely custom hoses made because the fittings on the new hose, I don't know if you can see it there, right here, the fittings are different. So I just ended up going with just a push-on style for the return line. And then as you can see, with the new hose, it goes in there with another new banjo fitting at the end. Right there, you see it? And that's gonna get hooked right into the power steering pump. But that's pure hydraulic hose line now, so at least it's gonna look profesh as fuck. But holy shit, 3 days looking for those parts. Shout outs to Peninsula Hose and Fittings for hooking me up. They were muy amazing. Lots of good help there. But yeah, this is coming along now. I'm just gonna get this subframe in today, and then hopefully the lower A-arms. And then got some rust remover on my spindles. They're just drying now. Gonna hit it with the wire wheel and then give them a nice little coat. And then I finally got the seals that go in here too, so might be able to actually get the truck on the ground today. All right, we've gotten to the point where we can put our lower A-arm in. She's tight by. Some of these new fittings, see how it's a little indented there? Just hammer it out a bit. Use my persuader. Let's put a rag on it. You can use a rubber mallet too. Unfortunately, I don't have one. She is tight as fuck. These new bushings are really thick. Some grease. Let's grease up these. Yeah. There we go. It's in. A little finessing. Whew. Beauty. Alright, so these are the new seals. I'm going to install them into the spindle. So you can see how they're shaped. The lip goes in from the inside. A little bit of grease on there. Make sure she slides in good. You're just going to push it in from the back. Careful with the rubber part. The grease should make it pretty easy. Yeah, that's it. Just put it in there. That's how it looks from behind. Same step for the other one. Okay, now time to reassemble the hubs. It's had time to dry. We have the seals in. I'm going to install the spindle onto the hub, reassembling it. Inside, you have the bearings for the CV axle. Get yourself some good grease for this stuff, and grease the shit out of it. Remember, this is not going to be coming apart again, and it's a hard part to get to, so I give it a big load of grease. Make sure you get it good, even on the inside. Make sure there's no dirt in here or anything. I just took some of this brake cleaner, blasted it out. Now once you got that all greased up, you're going to want to clean up this edge, the mating surfaces, and get yourself some ultra black gasket maker. Make sure those surfaces are nice and clean, both sides. Alright, and you're just going to use some of this on the mating surfaces. So I'm just going to go around lightly. Just to make sure that's a watertight seal. Then you're going to install your part. You crank her down. I usually go to crisscross. You don't want to go crazy. I'm sure there's torque specs for this as well, but how we do. Okay, so I got my wheel spacer back on, hubs all put together. Just gotta put my locking ring in there. Brakes are on. Even with all this lift, I think I'm still gonna be good with the stock brake lines, but we're gonna switch those out anyway eventually. Here's the new spring, lower A-arm, it's all in, all the new hardware. The only thing I haven't been able to install yet is the outer steering end, but hopefully when we get the car on the ground, this will come up and I can get this under it. If not, then I might just flip the tie rods. Okay, so I got the rear tire off. I got the rear springs in already. They're pretty simple. You just put a jack underneath the trailer hitch and you jack it up, and then the coils will eventually straighten or lengthen out, that they'll just fall out and you put the new ones in. And then the shocks, and now I'm just doing my sway bar. As you can see over there, the old one used to mount right down here, and this one's gonna be this much higher. Adjustable. And yeah, so I had the bracket I bought plus the one I got from Barnes 4-wheel drive. I broke the bolt inside, as you can see in there. I broke the bolt that goes to the back of the axle. So I'm just going to burn this in and then bolt it to this, and then that'll make it adjustable as well. Okay, so I just burnt that in there quick. A couple of tacks just to hold it. Went all the way around the back too. We'll eventually paint that up when it's dry. And then yeah, throw some bolts on here. I don't think I'm gonna need that one because it's all one solid piece now. Yeah. Okay, so I ended up burning it out well in there. Looks pretty good. Made 2 into 1. But yeah, give it a nice coat of paint. That should be good for the track bar bracket. So next we're going to be replacing these body mounts. As you can see, there it's kind of rotted through the floor there. I use these things as gussets, and I reinforce it against the firewall. But all that's coming out, and I make it look nice and clean, like that one back there. And that's the piece there that I'm going to weld right in here. There. Probably never seen somebody pull a body mount through the floor. Okay, so I got that to separate there. I'm gonna pull that out eventually. And then I put a block underneath the new rockers I built. And they should hold it up. Get some of this shit out of the way. And then I'm gonna put the thing in right over here. Okay, so I got her in. It's a lot easier to get these ones in than the rear ones. Fitment's pretty nice. It comes over here. I just gotta watch out for these gas and brake lines. But I'm gonna use that as the gusset. Let's bump it right up next to it and then make it flush. Okay, I got it pretty much where I want it. I'm gonna use that, like I said, as a gusset. It's nice and flush there. It sits right at the front of that, so the back of this will be the new front of my firewall. And yeah, I'm gonna burn it all in. Okay guys, so I got the tires back on. Everything's pretty much in its place now. I gave it a little bit of a rundown, so it's a little rusty, but that's just how it is. Everything seems to be working properly though. I ended up going out getting some bigger tires, so now went from a 35 to a 37. Ended up getting another spare, same rim, different color. But yeah, that's how it looks. Everything's working properly. I have a tiny little bit of bump steer just because of the alignment, or not the alignment, just the way that the triangulation is. I ended up swapping my tie rods to the top there. But what I'm gonna have to do in the future is I'm gonna have to space this down probably about 3 inches. And the same thing in the back. I have to make a drop bracket and then drop this lower A-arm down. And then I'll have to do the same thing for the diff. I'll have to make another diff drop bracket. Probably move those the places where the diff is set. I'm gonna cut this off and then drop the whole thing. But yeah. So if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. You leave a comment. If there's anything else you'd like to know that I didn't mention, just leave it in the comments. I know I skipped through a bunch of stuff. I was kind of doing it fast because I really didn't have a place to do it, and it's a pretty big job. Unfortunately, I have to sell my pickup truck, but we have a new project and it's very exciting. I'll catch you on the next video and we'll take a look at what it could be.